I have a statement that I would like to say today. If you say, I do, then you accept what they do. When you say, I do, you accept the things that they do. And a lot of us may sit up here and say, what are you saying? When you went down that aisle and when you said, I do, and you knew that your mate was doing the very things before they went and married you, you are accepting the very things that they do. Somebody may sit up there and say, no, I don't accept the things that my husband or my wife do. But when you said, I do, you chose to accept everything that they do. See, if a woman be real, just like if a man be real, a lot of us went ahead and married somebody. You already knew they had a bad temper. To tell the truth about it, that woman and that man, they was already fighting you before you said, I do, but you still chose to go through. You already know that that man was cheating on you before you said, I do, but you still chose to go through. You already knew you was having issues with that man watching pornography, going reading those naked magazines. You already knew that that was an issue already, but you still chose to say, I do. A man already knew that a woman wasn't good with her money. You knew she had bad spending habits. You knew that that woman loved to go to the casino, but you still chose to say, I do. And when we choose to still say, I do, you are accepting the very things that they do. See, some man, just like some woman, already knew that they love to go to the club. You already know they love to hang out all night. They love to be with their friends all night. You already knew when you met them that they love to drink. You already knew that they cussed like a sailor, but you still said, I do, and you still went through. So when you're saying, I do, you accept the very things that they do. Some woman already knew when she met that man that he had a lot of kids. You already knew that that man was cheating on you before you said, I do, and you still went through. Some woman already knew when she married that man, he was on drugs bad. You knew that he loved to pop pills. You knew that he did crack. You knew all those things that he do, and you still went ahead and said, I do. Now, could that very well be you? We know these things. We see these things. The Heavenly Father shows us the warning signs, but we still go through and say we do. And now you have a problem with the very things that they do. I want you to think about your life on today, and you may be frustrated with your husband, with your wife. But if you be real with yourself, sometimes you just have to go to God and say, you know what, God, I didn't look at the warning signs. Everything that that man is doing, everything that that woman is doing, I already knew, and I went ahead and I said I do. See, sometimes you just got to go to God and say, God, I got to be real. I disregarded you. I didn't listen to you, and I went ahead and said I do. But sometimes it's just time to go to God and say, but God, now I'm ready to surrender to you, and now I'm ready to listen to you. Because one thing that I know, even though we may do things that we want to do and not what God told us to do, God will still help us get through. The very decision that you made, God will still help you in that marriage make it through. But you have to surrender and say, Lord, now I'm ready to surrender to you. Because see, a lot of us, we still want to do things our way. And you can no longer do things your way because you have to start doing things God's way. And when we do things God's way, God is going to show us a better way. Start seeking God so you can be guided by God. Because just because you may overlook the warning signs, God is saying that I can still get you through. I can still help you with any and everything that you're going through. But God said you must surrender and do things my way, and please stop doing things your way. And if that's you today, go to God and say, God, help me surrender to you. Help me do everything that I'm called to do for you. And God will do it, but you must go to him. Because whether we want to admit it or not, it's decisions that we made. We made those decisions. We decided to overlook the warning signs. We saw everything in our face, but we wanted to be married so bad. And sometimes we want to do things right God's way, but we overlook everything else. And we overlook all that stuff and we jump into marriage, and now we're dealing with decisions that we made. But just because we made decisions that didn't please God, we can still go to God and seek and have peace in our marriage that can only come from God. The Heavenly Father told me, you must do things my way. We have to get to a place and stop doing things our way and start doing things God's way. So I tell anybody in a marriage, if you made a decision that you feel like you overlooked the warning signs, but it doesn't mean that you have to walk away. You just have to seek God and start doing things God's way. And it can no longer be your way. So go to God. Cry out to God and say, God, now I'm ready to surrender to you, and I'm ready to do things your way, because God, now I understand that your way is the right way. So always remember my closing. Self-examination is the best examination, and Jesus Christ is Lord, and he's all we have. Have a great rest of the day.